So we are Dedric and Krystal Polite, for those who don't know us. And the focus today is sharing with you guys some of the marketing secrets that's helped us build a $10 million rental portfolio, and teach you guys some tips and tricks so you can get your first deal or your next deal within the next 90 days, even if you don't have money, credit, or experience. So we want to share with you guys some marketing secrets that we found on how we're finding properties at, 40, 50, 60 cents on the dollar consistently.
Consistently and creatively, right? So first one is for sale by owner. So for sale by owner are like a lot of us, we go buy properties and it'll say, hey, for sale by owner is typically a red sign from like Home Depot or, a local hardware store, and it'll have it with the black Sharpie that you can barely read and then have the owner's name and information. Sometimes it'll say 2 bed, 1 bath. And those are the properties that we go by, that we go for. We never pass a sign that says for sale by owner because it's either a wholesale deal or a creative finance deal. We know for sure. So we never pass up those leads. Another way that we find for sale by owner
Is going on Zillow. So some of you guys may know this, but some of you may not. So let's go with Memphis, Tennessee.
we
So
just
if you
got a
go
lead from there too.
you go to Zillow, you go to Memphis, and what you're looking is for sale. So we got 1,970 results for sale in Memphis, right? You want to keep this at a low price point. So you don't want to be looking at $1 million homes or even half a million. Let's look at a maximum of 300,000 for sale in Memphis. Maximum sale price 300,000. Beds and baths, don't necessarily worry about beds and baths. Home type, you want to focus on deselect all and focus on single family houses because that's what most of the housing stock is in Memphis. So you got 1,200 results. Then you want to go and deselect to the more tab and deselect all these and just focus on owner posted properties. So these are properties posted by owners who are looking to sell, right? And you want to look for the more rundown and uglier the house, the better. And you got some boarded up ones here because what you're really looking for is motivation. So you're looking for a motivated seller. You would go into this listing, this one on Albany Ave. You see that it needs some improvements and it's been listed for 11 days, and you got the owner's phone number. And in DealMachine, all you got to do is plug in the address and you'll get the owner's name. And you'll get almost everything but their blood type because DealMachine has all this rich data that you can fill in on this property owner. And then, of course, you give them a call and you see if they're interested in selling the property.
Now,
So,
these are all great leads for either wholesale or buy and hold. So we have acquired quite a few properties through this same method because a lot of these properties will go after have been sitting on the market for 200 days, 300 days. So we go after these properties. And there's many different exit strategies that you can go after, right? So a lot of people will look at these and will bypass them also because they are on market technically, but we go on there looking for deals like this that's been sitting on the market that we can still go directly to seller on.
another one is for a rent by owner. You want to talk about why we target for rent by owners?
So a lot of people will see this and be like, oh, I'm not renting. So they don't look at the lead. Well, we're not looking for a rental either, but we do contact every single owner because why? We know there's a motivation there. This property is still sitting vacant. So we contact them, ask them for more information on the property, and then we'll pivot and say, hey, have you thought about selling the property? Now, some will say, no, well, it's my retirement plan. My wife and I look for this income each month, so that this is how we get our income is through these rentals. Great. Well, what if I told you I could still give you that same income, but now you don't have to deal with the tenants or the headaches? Now we have their attention. Now they're like, okay, well, I mean, how is that possible? That's when we pivot to creative finance. That's how we've acquired quite a few properties, is just by targeting for rent by owner. So we literally never will pass by a for rent by owner sign as well, because that is a free lead to us.
So, Matt, that may be one of the filters we bring in the deal machine is pulling up rentals.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
one of the
I'm,
sites.
I'm making a note right now.
There you go. You guys have the data, so I'm sure that's an easy fix. So one of the sites we go to is affordablehousing.com. Affordablehousing.com. Let's say we're looking in Cincinnati, Ohio, right? And we're looking to acquire some properties, whether it's a fix and flip or a buy and hold. You would go there and you would click on a rental property in this city, right? And then it's going to pull up the information of the property owner. Let's see here. It's still spinning for me. So he's going to pull up the information on the property owner and it's going to have their phone number. So again, these are free leads, guys. These are leads that you didn't have to pay for. You literally just did a little bit of research and now you have a name and phone number and address. And again, with Deal Machine, you can always supplement that data and deal by pulling it in Deal Machine and pulling up the property owner's information, their portfolio, and all that information. So that is how you find for rent by owner properties in affordablehousing.com. Then we have driving for dollars, right? So driving for dollars is one of our favorite methods, and we've been doing this since 2017. We were just doing it yesterday when we were in South Carolina, looking at some land
Literally.
to acquire in South Carolina and do some new development on. So literally any and everywhere we go, we drive for dollars. Like the Deal Machine app is open, and we're looking at properties and always looking for deals. So I'm sure with you guys being on this Deal Machine training and going to office hours with the team, you guys know about driving for dollars.
So another big one for us is we buy from wholesalers a lot. So with us and our partnerships with wholesalers, we make sure we are on every wholesaler's list. An easy way to find it is going to your local Facebook group and finding out who are real wholesalers in that community, right? Who are really out there marketing and making sure that you are becoming a go-to buyer of theirs. So we literally are on, I mean, it's probably at this point hundreds and hundreds of wholesalers lists that are sending us properties constantly because we do buy nationwide. So getting on wholesalers list is one of the easiest ways if you are a buyer, if you are a flipper,
Fix and flip, buy and hold investors.
buy
You
and
don't want to
hold.
do all the marketing and the legwork that wholesalers do. You simply let them do all the heavy lifting and you pay them a fee and you buy the deal and
We
you still get a
also,
discounted deal.
right, and we also let wholesalers know if you are not, and it's crazy because we will train wholesalers on creative finance because we want you to bring us a deal and make sure that this seller is either open to seller finance or if it's not something that you're well versed in, then you make sure we hop on the phone with them because for us, we're trying to get a deal creatively no matter what the numbers are.
All right, marketing secret number two. So these are some of the marketing outreach methods that we use. We have cold calling, which still works, right? Cold calling is not dead. Text messaging, direct mail, and then you have pay per click and pay per lead, some of the online marketing methods, right? And all these still work in 2025. So when it comes to cold calling, you can do it yourself, right? And I encourage everybody to start out doing it yourself, even if you don't like cold calling. Nobody does, right? Because you need to get those reps in. You need to get the rejection. You need to experience that. You need to experience cold calling because when you hire someone, that will help you manage that cold caller better when you know what it takes to effectively cold call. Do it yourself is is the most inexpensive way.
Yep.
Then you have budget friendly ways. You have Fiverr, right? Fiverr is a freelancer marketplace. You can hire graphic designers to create logos. You can hire cold callers as well to make calls for you. And a lot of stuff we're talking about, guys, you'll see links in the chat, our assistants putting in the chat so you can access some of those resources. So Fiverr is a budget-friendly way. We have some of our mentees who, spend $100 paying a cold caller on Fiverr. That cold caller will make 1,000 phone calls for $100, and that might, get them 3 to 5 leads.
But when they get off work, now they have warm leads waiting for them, right? So, and they will literally get into the community and they'll say, hey, I had someone call my list. Now I have 4 leads that are waiting for me to follow up
And I
with
spent
them.
$100, like $25 per lead, right? So very, very cost effective. And then we use a service called Start Virtual. That's more of a premium service. So for a full-time cold caller through this company, it's like $2,000 a month, but they're going to be making thousands of calls a week. On average, this is actually some stats from one of our cold callers. This is in a day. He made 1,000 phone calls in one day, right? Using a dollar, like you using Deal Machine, and he got 2 appointments set for us in one day, right? I know I don't want to call 1,000 people. I don't know about you guys, so I'd rather hire someone, right? Leverage their time and then speak to the warm leads. This is some other stats of a week. This cold caller called 4,000 plus people. No, this is actually a month. 24,000 calls in a month and generated 31 appointments.
But this also shows you what you should be looking for when someone is doing it for you. So if you have had someone cold calling for you, or if you're looking to get someone to cold call for you, even if it is Fiverr, take a screenshot of this. This is what you want to know, right? You have to know what your numbers look like. Otherwise, you're like us when we first got started 10 years ago and have no idea why we're not getting any leads, because one, we're not auditing their calls. We had no idea what the KPIs were or what KPI even was at the time. So there was no accountability we were able to hold them to. So you want to know, hey, how many calls did you make? How many hangups? How many no answers?
Sure,
How many wrong numbers? How many do not calls, right?
and with the dollar and deal machine, this stuff is all automatically tracked.
Absolutely.
Text messaging, text marketing works very well, right? Especially for the demographic between 30 and 50. You know, we're all on our phones all day, texting all day, every day. So this is actually today a screenshot we took from, we have a CRM system that does texting for us, right? It has an AI chatbot that literally 24 hours a day is texting sellers and having conversations with them. And then you have direct mail. So direct mail, we send our postcards out through DealMachine. We use the platform, and again, still a very good response rate. Direct mail is a numbers game, but when you drive for dollars, you're finding properties that are not typically on everybody's list, right? You're building your own custom list that most other investors don't have. So we highly recommend, after you've gone used your inexpensive forms of marketing, you've done your cold calling multiple times, you've done text messaging. If they don't respond, then we send them a postcard or a letter in the mail.
And we have postcards for everything. So of course, with us doing this for so long, we have creative finance postcards that go out. We have land postcards that go out. We even have postcards for COVID. We have postcards in Spanish. We have postcards in French. Like, we have postcards for all areas of real estate, no matter what we are sending out. So that's also something that gets why we get a lot of people who reach back out to us, because we are tailoring our marketing to the market for which we are marketing to. So that's also really important. Not every postcard is going to land.
And Deal Machine has those templates. So those templates are in Deal Machine. So you go to the postcard section, there's hundreds of them in there. Then you have pay per lead. So this is online. So pay per lead, how it works is someone wants to sell their house. They go to Google and they type in sell my house fast, Memphis, Tennessee, right? And there's companies that pay Google to show up on the list so people land on their website and they get that lead and get that deal. So you would go to a company like motivatedsellers.com. They generate these leads and then you would pay them for these leads. Now, they could be anywhere from $100 a lead to $500 a lead. It's going to depend on your market, how competitive it is in your particular market. So these aren't cheap, right? But these are leads that want to sell and they need to sell quickly. So motivatedsellers.com, we'll drop the link to it. You want to make sure your sales and your acquisitions process is dialed in before you do this, right? Because again, these are not cheap leads, so you want to make sure you're really good on the phone and getting deals locked up. Then we get to secret number three. So this is one of our differentiators, and this is the silver segment strategy. Secret number three, right? And here's an example of a case study of silver segment. So we target tired landlords. This gentleman, Mr. Holt, was tired. He was wanting to send one of his kids to college. So he's like, all right, I'm going to sell off another rental house, what I've done for my other grandkids, so they don't have to worry about paying for college. So we ended up getting this property under contract for 72,000. We ended up wholesaling it to another investor for 77 and made 5,000 in the process.
So 10 of the reasons why we target the silver segment, right? Their motivation to sell is different, right? They have a different motivation on why they are wanting to sell their properties off. And it could be, hey, I'm older now. I'm no longer wanting to deal with the tenants and toilets. Now I'm kind of wanting to relax a little bit more.
Emotional fatigue.
Yeah, they don't want to deal with the day-to-day responsibilities of property management anymore. Then you have the deferred maintenance, right? And we all know what that looks like. We know the signs of a tired landlord, and you know that even just driving by a property. You have landlords who may have neglected the property maintenance due to age or financial constraints, right? Because not all of them are rich, right? Not money rich, but they are asset rich. So it leads to a lot of properties that are in need of repairs and upgrades. And that's where we come in and we're able to acquire these properties at a lower price and go in and add value through the renovations. And I know you guys have seen us doing that.
Thanks for listening to the DealMachine Real Estate Investing Podcast. Please leave us a review and follow along wherever you're listening to your podcast.